Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Higginbotham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we always love highlighting tnAchieves. That's why we're honored to have with us Graham Thomas, Chief Community and Government Affairs Officer with tnAchieves. How are you doing, Graham?
I'm doing great, Jeremy. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, always good to see you. There's a lot of good to talk about. There's also a lot of need to talk about. So when you talk about mentorship and opportunities to get involved, there's a lot of exciting ways to get involved with tnAchieves. Let's start though with a little background for those who aren't familiar with tnAchieves. You all have been doing this work for a long time. Give us some background on tnAchieves.
Yeah, absolutely. We're best known as being a partnering organization to the Tennessee Promise. But we actually launched in Memphis in 2011, 4 years ahead of the Tennessee Promise, and in Knoxville 3 years before that. So we've been around for about 17 years. But we are an organization that our mission is to make sure our Tennessee Promise students, one, are enrolling in post-secondary, and two, once they are enrolled, that they're successful. And so we offer a whole suite of programs from mentoring to coaching, emergency grant funding. And what we've seen is that some of our students from our most vulnerable populations, we've moved their graduation rate from pre-promise at about 5 or 6% today, all the way up to 41%. And so what we know is, yes, the financial component of Tennessee Promise is important, but those non-financial supports, probably even more so important.
Well, when you talk about access for especially first-generation college students, that's huge. That is a legacy-changing opportunity for their family. It's also to leadership, workforce development, which will play into a big part of the conversation we want to have around workforce development. But touch on the power of what you're doing in terms of over 50,000 now, as part of the alumni network. There is a community service aspect. There is a stay local and homegrown aspect. So there's a lot of cool storylines associated.
So many things that I could rattle off, I think, based on where you just led me here. But yes, 53,000 tnAchieves college graduates now. We know that 84.7% of those are staying in Tennessee to live, work, and raise a family. And so, yeah, that's an economic driver. That means when we're recruiting business and industry to Tennessee, we can promise them that they're going to have a workforce that's ready to go to work. I mean, these students are buying houses, they're spending their money, the tax revenue is there. And so the ROI from a state perspective is absolutely there. And our team gets to wake up every day and do this, what we hope is great work, helping students achieve their goals and their dreams and become college graduates. Many of them are the first in their families, so we're breaking some of those generational cycles. But the goal is workforce, and so that's what we're doing. We're providing Tennessee's future workforce.
Couple more questions, and then we'll switch over to the Workforce Mentorship Program, which is relatively new and super exciting. But I want to touch on the mentorship aspect, how easy you make it. So touch on that piece of it, especially tied to kind of the scholarship and the college side, and then we'll switch over and talk about the workforce.
Yeah, so for 17 years now, we've run our traditional access mentorship program. It's probably what we're best known for when we're out and about talking about tnAchieves. A lot of times like, oh, you're that mentoring program. And yes, that is one piece. It's a very big piece of what we do. So traditionally, our mentors are working with a small group of students from the high school of their choice and helping them navigate the college going process. Just like you said before, if you're the first person in your family to go to college, it's new vocabulary, it's new processes. We always talk about it's really hard to access. It's really easy to leave. You just wake up one day, you decide, hey, I'm not going to go back today. And then that's it. And you're gone. And so our mentors are keeping students on track. They're meeting their Tennessee Promise deadlines. And really, they're just providing that encouragement to say hey, college is here. It's affordable. It's attainable. I'm going to go on this journey with you. We are putting more students into post-secondary than ever before, thanks to the launch of the Tennessee Promise. 10 years ago, we saw a 4 percentage point increase that first year of Tennessee Promise, which was more than the previous 7 years combined. Now with our coaching and emergency grant program, we're graduating students at a higher rate than ever before. And so we took a step back and we said, all right, we're getting more in than we've ever gotten in. and we're getting them across the finish line. So what do we do for them next?
When you look at the community service aspect, I think that's a really cool piece of this too, in terms of how much the students give back as a piece of this. Touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, our students get back 8 hours of community service every single semester that they earn or that they receive the scholarship. When we launched, we were a completely privately funded organization. And so we were asking donors in the community to pay for students' tuition. We were asking for volunteers to support them. And so we thought it was really important that we ask our students to continue that tradition of giving back. And so we asked that they get back 8 hours of community service every semester that they receive that scholarship. To date, about 600,000 hours of community service has been completed by our students going through the program. Our board chairman, Randy Boyd, says that that makes us the largest community service organization in the state. No one has called us on that yet, so we're going to keep saying it. If someone calls us on it, we'll stop. But yeah, over the last 17 years now, 600,000 hours of community service given back all across our state.
Well, I think that's what's powerful about this is it's relationships, it's community connections, it's obviously academic success, it's community service and philanthropy and leadership and character development. Like there's so many layers to what you're doing with Tennessee Achieves. So let's go ahead and, when we talk about layers, workforce development is a big piece of this too. And so you've got a workforce mentorship program that's relatively new. Go ahead and start diving in.
So this is where we really felt like we had a gap. A few years ago, we learned that about 80% of our students were telling us that they wanted to transfer after they earned their 2-year degree, and only about 15% of them were. And so we put a transfer program into place, and now half of them are transferring after they earn their degree. That means the other half, though, are entering the workforce, and we felt like we weren't really doing a whole lot for those students. So a few years ago, we started lifting up some job shadowing opportunities in Memphis. That was at Hilton, at St. Jude. In Nashville, we've been doing that at several of our large employers in Northeast Tennessee at Eastman, and employers all across the state have opened their doors so that students can come in and learn about all the different things that you can do with the college degree. If you grew up in Memphis your whole life, you're familiar with St. Jude, right? But you probably think that you can only work there if you're a doctor or a nurse. But no, they have a whole finance team. They have a whole communications team and an HR team. And so we're trying to get students in to show them that, like, hey, there's more that goes on inside these buildings than maybe what you realize. And then this year, we really took a step back and thought, like, this job shadowing thing we think is making a dent and it's exposing students to early career opportunities. But what about that one-on-one touch? Like, what can we do for them? And so this year, we're launching a Workforce Mentorship Program where you can volunteer to work with students as they're approaching their college graduation. If you're an accountant, we're going to pair you with an accounting student. If you are a nurse, with a teacher, you get the idea. And you're going to be able to provide that real life experience and guidance to these students. What do you put on a resume that makes you stand out? How do you get your foot in the door? What should you say in an interview? And really think about these 85% of our students that are staying in Tennessee to live, work, and raise their families. Like, how do we make sure that their first job is a job that will support them and their families or their future families and lead to a meaningful, fulfilling career?
I know that on the other side, you get to pick your high school and you can be close in proximity geographically. For this, it's a little wider spread. Talk about kind of the ratio, the expectation, the timeline, dive in a little deeper on what it looks like to be a mentor.
Yeah, we're going to do a little less geography in this one. I think on that access side, it's great. If you graduated from high school in town and you want to go back to that high school and help students, excellent. You can go do that. A lot of people have that connectivity, right? I think the opportunity that this program is going to give us on the workforce side is when we're working with students, especially from rural Tennessee, where there's just not as many different industries and as many large employers. If you're up in Lake County or Dyer County, Obion County, we're going to be able to pair you with mentors that are in Memphis that are nurses and doctors and lawyers and all the different things. Not that they don't have those in rural communities, but there's just a lot more of them in our large urban centers. So we're still going to try to do, geography to the best that we can in case people build a strong relationship and maybe they do want to get together. But we're going to care a little bit less about that and more about like subject matter expertise, career fields, where we feel like our mentors can make a difference.
touch on the number of mentors you're looking for. Obviously, widespread in terms of, just like you mentioned, operations, finance, marketing, like everybody, when you think about what your career path is and has been, all of those experiences matter to be able to share them, especially with young professionals. So touch on some of those aspects in terms of the numbers and kind of what you're looking for.
And we need 5,000 people. It's a big number. In Memphis, Shelby County alone, we need more than 700 people. So it's a big number. We're out looking for those people every single day. We're hitting the home stretch. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I've got 1 hour a month and I would like to invest it in local students that are at the high school level or that are thinking about their first job opportunity, today's the day. We're ready for you. We will start pairing our students and our mentors together at the beginning of the year. And so we need these 5,000 people in place and ready to train and get working as soon as you can. And, what I can promise you from a programmatic side is that we're going to put you through a training. We're going to send you a handbook. If you haven't been to college like me in 20 or 30 years, don't worry, we're going to catch you up on that. It's the other things. It's what I always tell people. It's those life things that oftentimes get in the way for our students. We've all been through those. Anyone that's been to college before has struggled at some point, right? We can all relate to that. And then our staff is always going to be available for you. When you sign up, you get our entire team's personal cell phone numbers. So if a student is calling or texting you frantically at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday night about something, you can call or text me. And I'm going to get back to you just as soon as I can, because we know if you're reaching out to us, it's because the student reached out to you. And so we're never going to leave you hanging.
And I'm glad you touched on that, because when you look at the mentorship side of this, in many cases, yes, they want to know about what you do and climbing the corporate ladder and all those kind of questions, but a lot of it is just life advice. And so I think while you want to have some sort of expertise in what you do to be able to share that, the bottom line is anyone and everyone has a gift to share with their experience to be able to help someone else, because most of this is life. It's exposing them to what you do. And like you said, even with St. Jude, just because you see St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, well, there's so many other career paths that all play this role in, saving lives and fighting pediatric cancer. And so I think just opening their eyes, you can't be what you can't see, allowing them to see it then allows them to be it. And so it's also, I think, what I want you to touch on is it's also a powerful relational opportunity for businesses to recruit young professionals. So you build those relationships, but also too, to build the strong connections and the relationships that make community special. So touch on that aspect in terms of this being a future pipeline for these companies.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if we get this right, then our employers win, right? We're providing you with more talent to come and grow your business. And for those businesses and companies that are looking to move to Tennessee, we can help them too. But if you're here and you're having a lot of success and you need more people, programs like Tennessee Achieves and Tennessee Promise are providing that workforce. And yes, this is an opportunity to come and get current college students excited to come to work for you, wherever that might be. And so, yeah, yes, again, you're helping students achieve their goals and their dreams. But, you can be a little bit selfish here too. You can go get students excited to come and work for you. We've got employer and business partners all across the state that we would love to get students to you to learn about what it is that you do. And we also know that if you're serving in this workforce mentor program, like maybe your student changes their mind halfway through, right? Like, maybe you're an accountant and your student's like, oh, I don't know about accounting. I want to go into, you probably know someone in whatever that other field is too, right? So, don't be intimidated by what if the students are changing. They're getting close to graduation though, so hopefully they're locked in at this point. But that advice and that insight that you can provide is going to be extremely valuable to them.
And I think typical with volunteerism, you hear this all the time, is you as the volunteer get so much more out of it than even what you think you're giving to the other. So in many cases, while you're pouring into someone else, you also are receiving. So the blessing goes both ways. For those who are interested and say, hey, this sounds awesome, I want to learn more, I want to get involved, what do those next steps look like?
Yeah, you can sign up at www.tnachieves.org. You can always give me a call at 615-604-1306.
And touch on again the timing, because I know, as you mentioned, you are doing the pairings at the beginning of 2026. So the time basically is now up until when?
As now. We'll have the application will stay open on our website through early December sometime. But we need 5,000 people. We need them today. And we'll get everyone trained and start getting some students to you at the beginning of the year to either think about how to get them on a college campus next fall or hopefully how to get them employed sometime in May.
Well, you never can say it enough on the show. So mention again, website, your phone number. Where do we go to take those next steps and get involved with Tennessee Achieves?
You can visit www.tnAchieves.org or give me a call at 615-604-1306.
Well, Graham Thomas, Chief Community and Government Affairs Officer with Tennessee Achieves, thank you for all you and your amazing team do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, and thanks for everything you do in the community.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.